Aujourd'hui, c'est le jeudi 14 mai. D'abord, on va parler de la discussion en français et puis la discussion en anglais, hein. Je vais répondre à quelques questions. Et ensuite, je vais élaborer, hein. On va revoir la lecture un petit peu. Puis, j'aimerais vous parler de l'animation samedi proposée pour ceux qui terminent leurs études. Et puis, je vais vous expliquer un peu ce qu'il faut faire pour la fin du semestre, hein. Et puis pour lundi. Ok. Donc la discussion en français. Pourquoi est-ce que le narrateur écrit ce livre? Dans ce chapitre, le narrateur élabore ses difficultés avec les adultes. Quelles sont les frustrations du narrateur? Hein? So here, with this question, there's kind of like a larger question, right? So why does the narrator write this book? And again, I really encourage y'all, whether you're reading a French text or an English text or what have you, to always ask why. You know, who's writing, who are they writing it for, and then finally, why are they writing it? So there were some really great answers. Selon moi, il semble que le narrateur écrive ce livre pour que les enfants comprennent, lui le comprennent. C'est pourquoi le narrateur écrit sur les grandes personnes ignorantes. Quand un enfant pose une question, la réponse n'est pas sincère, et puis elle demande voilà. Ah, okay. So the idea of, okay, the narrator writes this book so that the children can relate with him, can understand him, and that's why, there's always this refrain of ignorant grown-ups. Maybe, maybe. Okay. And then the response isn't sincere when a child asks a question. That's interesting. I'd love to hear a little bit more from this person about that. I don't know. I kind of got the opposite answer, where it felt like the children were the ones being sincere and kind of abrupt, even straight up with their answers. Or maybe, not answering. But I don't know. This person said, Je pense que l'intérêt écrit ce livre parce que c'est un moment très important, très intéressant pour lui. Le Petit Prince a eu un grand impact sur lui avec le dessin et l'imagination. Oui, okay. So the narrator wrote this book because it's a very important moment for him. Yeah, yeah, I'd say so. Um, les adultes n'ont pas d'imagination et n'écoutent pas les gens qui semblent différents d'eux. Yeah, so both pretty good interpretations. Um, Yeah, so the Little Prince had a big impact on him, and so he wants to write the story. Sure, we can talk about that more in a little bit. That's there. Um, and adults do not have an imagination, and so they don't listen to people different from them. Sure, yeah. Je pense que le narrateur l'écrive pour dire aux enfants de ne pas oublier comment faire les choses que les enfants font. Par exemple, être plus indulgent que les grandes personnes peuvent être. Ok? So to kind of remind kids to not forget how to do childish things, yeah, for sure. Les frustrations du narrateur sont que les grandes personnes posent des questions ennuyeuses et ne pensent pas aux choses trop intéressantes. Ils sont trop professionnels et pas imaginatifs. Sure, yes, yes. Uh, so the narrator is definitely frustrated about the questions that grown-ups ask, right? And this comes up in the English discussion, where the narrator is saying, "Oh, well, grown-ups just want to ask how much somebody weighs or how much they make. They want a number, and that number tells them what they need to know." Whereas with children, it's more focused on what brings this person joy. So I'd love to take a look at the reading, but let's go through the English discussion first. So I was asking kind of what were some words that you were missing, um, and the narrator also explains why he's writing the story. So how is it different? Well, how is communication with adults different from the communication with children? Um, so there were a lot of words to look up. Combien gagne son père? How much does his father earn? Right? And so this kind of threw a lot of y'all off, where it's like, oh, Gagner is to win, but it does mean to earn as well. So to earn. Étonné, les chiffres. Uh-huh. Les chiffres is numbers. Les chiffres is numbers is figures. If you think of the film Hidden Figures, figures means people in English, but it also means hard numbers that are often compiled into larger amounts of data. And so chiffre in French does not have that double meaning. It just has the meaning of numbers and those kind of figures that are entered into data. Ravissant, etc. Okay. Uh, Adults will only have really meaningful conversations with you if you're grown up like them. Children will talk to you about whatever, whenever. Sure, that works. Kind of the limits of the adult mind. I looked up the sentence I was confused about. How much does your father earn? Yeah, so a few people were kind of confused by that. That's okay. And again, this is really great. I really appreciate you all participating in this discussion for this very reason. I hope it feels reassuring to know, okay, I'm not the only one struggling, and help each other. So peser is to weigh. À peine is this expression, barely. À peine. Um, and this person struggled to find an answer. That's okay. We can go over that. And you need to know basic details, boring details to communicate with adults. Uh, how old you are, how much you weigh. Yeah, and it seemed unnecessary, right? It seemed a little silly, right? This idea of how much do you weigh. Um, but what do all these have in common? Well, do you want to be as tall as your sister one day? How old you are? How much do you weigh? How much does your father make? It's all kind of um, numbers. It's all based around numbers, right? It's all based on a dry kind of semi-objective view of the world of okay, well, give me the numbers. Okay. I think grown-ups need higher standards. Yeah. And that's kind of the running gag, right? Is uh, grown-ups have disappointed the author, and the author is really kind of driving home that idea of grown-ups are generally a disappointment. Generally, they have lost something very important that allows them to be interesting. But instead, they've become adults and they've invested in serious things like geography and geometry and stuff. This person said, when communicating with adults, the narrator explained that they only care about facts and numbers. Yes, correct. They don't believe it if it seems yes, correct. So the idea of kind of worshiping lifelike things. Children are way more imaginative. Yep. Because they're younger, they haven't been expected to grow up and forget all the nonsense that. Yeah, so this is something that I would want to kind of come back to. I would want you to kind of keep in mind. They haven't been expected to grow up and forget all the nonsense, right? So, um, but even then, we had the first story of the closed boa and the open boa. So the boa constrictor, which swallowed an elephant, that all the adults thought were a hat, and then all the children saw it for what it really was, right? And so it's definitely, kind of a plea for children to kind of hold on to that logic. So let's take a look at the reading real quick. So we started with chapter 4. And we've got these great illustrations that help give context, and they're also kind of charming. I hope you enjoyed them, these watercolors. Um, so we learned that the little prince is from a different